2025, today being Tuesday, January 7th, and we appreciate everyone being here today. Note that the meeting is being live streamed and also recorded, and would also ask if you have a cell phone, if you'd please put it on vibrate or silent. We'd appreciate your doing that. And we always begin our meeting with the Pledge of Allegiance, and we ask you to remain standing for a moment of silence. Commissioner Kennedy, could you lead us in the pledge, please? Sure. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please remain standing. We'll have a moment of silence. Thank you. Ryan, could you call the roll, please?
Commissioner Sonato?
Here.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Here.
Commissioner Vogler?
Here. We do have a quorum. At each public meeting, we always set aside time for public comments, one at the beginning of the meeting and then one prior to adjournment. If you do have a comment, we welcome it, or welcome your comments, and ask that they be related to county government matters. You're welcome to speak both times. If you wish to only speak once, that's fine, or if you're just here to listen, that's equally fine. We do ask if you could try to limit your time to about 5 minutes out of respect for everyone's schedules. Also on our agenda at each meeting, we do set aside time for any row officers who might have any business to transact or any discussion they wish to have. Noting right now, none of the row officers are here. I should know, however, point out that our president judge, the Honorable J. Craig Cox, is with us. And since you are an elected official, Judge, other than what's on the agenda, do you have any other items that you wish for us to talk about today?
Nothing at this time, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. That will lead me then to public comment. I'll open the floor, and Debbie, I know you're just getting settled in, but any public comment?
Thank you.
And as always, we'll have your packet for you when we conclude the meeting. Under fiscal and contractual, we do have the warrant registers, which are also known as the check reconciliation registers that are provided to us by the Controller's Office. These ones happen to be dated December 30 and 31 of 2024, as well as January 3 of 2025. They are a listing of all of the checks that have been cut by the Controller's Office. And I'll give my colleagues time to look them over. They are here if anybody wishes to see them. And Dan and Chris, once you've reviewed them, I'd welcome a motion for us to accept these documents.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second. Thank you both, gentlemen. Do either of you have any questions on the warrant register? We have a motion on the floor to accept them. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. Also in our packet are the minutes of the last meeting that we held, which was on December 31 of 2024, which was 1 week ago today. Again, Chris and Dan, please take whatever time you need to look them over. Once you've done that, I would welcome a motion to adopt the minutes. I move we accept the minutes.
I'll second.
Thank you both. Any questions on the minutes? Hearing none, we'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. We've received, under written communications, we've received 2 documents within the last week that will enter into the record. The first letter comes from Frank B. Taylor Engineering, which is based here in Lawrence County. It's dated December 19, and the purpose of the letter is involving the Houck Road Bridge Replacement Project in Scott Township. This is signed by Levi Fiesel from Taylor Engineering, and he notes that as the consulting engineer for Scott Township, we wish to inform you of the township's intent to submit an application to the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection to obtain a general permit, BWEWGP11, which is for maintenance, testing, repair, rehabilitation, or maintenance of water obstructions and encroachments for the following project. And as we noted, it's a bridge replacement project on Houck Road in Scott Township. The second letter comes to us from First Energy in Akron, Ohio. It is signed by Attorney Joey Chen, and it's giving the county notification that American Transmission Systems, Inc. is filing for a 138 kV transmission line loop to the Carroll Substation project. Part of this project is in Mercer County, and specifically Shenango Township of Mercer County, but it's also in Pulaski Township of Lawrence County. And these documents have also been forwarded and or received by our planning office. Gentlemen, these are the two letters. Any questions or concerns about either of them? Could I have a motion to accept them, please?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. Next on the agenda would be commissioner reports and comments, and it looks like I get to go first today. Wish everybody a happy new year, and looking forward to a good year for courthouse and for the county as a whole. I'll note that a couple of upcoming meetings that either one or all of us are going to be involved in. Tomorrow at noon, the Lawrence County Conservation District Board of Directors, of which I happen to be a member, we will be holding the regular monthly meeting of that board at Ryder's Restaurant in Wilmington Township. And then next Monday, hopefully the weatherman will cooperate, but the three of us will be attending the quarterly meeting of the Northwest County Commissioners Association, which is, as the name implies, it's a meeting that's held every 3 months of county commissioners from the northwestern part of the state. We move around, we rotate. This particular meeting is Crawford County's turn to host up in Meadville. So as of now, my two colleagues and I plan to attend that. Gives us a good opportunity to interact with other commissioners from this part of the state. Next Tuesday, 1 week from today, the West Central Job Partnership Governing Board, which consists of the three of us and our three colleagues from Mercer County. 6 of us serve as the governing board for West Central Job Partnership, and the board meets 4 times a year, and we move back and forth between us and Mercer County. So next Tuesday, the 14th at 1:30, this board will meet here in this room. It's open to the public if anybody wishes to attend. And then finally, normally during the month, County Planning Commission would meet. However, they have canceled this month's meeting. That's all I have, and let's see, Mr. Kennedy, you're next.
Really, you went over it all. So we really didn't have much to do last week, and got through the week and keep moving. That's all we're doing the first of the year. It's hard to believe it's been a year. And Chris has put up with me for a whole year. He's got 3 more to go.
And 4 more after that.
Yeah, so good luck to you, Chris, that's all. Dan's already used to me now, so
No, it's been a pleasure.
it has been.
Anything else, sir?
That's it.
Thank you. Commissioner Sonato.
I think you covered a lot, Chairman, but I will be, Friday, I need to go to the Lawrence County Tourist Promotion Agency's meeting, and it's also the annual strategic meeting. I just just remember, that was one of the first meetings I got to attend as the commissioner when I was appointed to that board. And that's usually about a 4-hour ordeal because they have the initial meeting, then they talk about the strategic plan for Lawrence County for the year. Normally, your meetings last about an hour plus. They start about 8:30 in the morning, but Friday, that's where I'll be in the morning and looking forward to. I think it's a great organization. A lot of positive things have been happening tourist-wise in Lawrence County. Like I said, it was a fairly slow weekend because of the holiday, but I did have a chance yesterday. I stopped down at the newest restaurant in downtown Newcastle called the Fancy Strawberry Cafe, right next to the library. And, I wish them well. That's like our 5th restaurant within this past year in downtown or in the Newcastle downtown area, which is positive. And nice young lady is opening the facility, and her staff, I had a chance to talk to them at lunchtime yesterday, and they're all excited about being down there, and hopefully the public will support them as well as supporting all of the restaurants that have been here for years. We should never always forget those who've been doing it for years and years. But we had 5 of them the last year. The barbecue place right down the street. Had a chance to go to their soft opening, and I've been eating well in this community. I think that's one advantage we have. And to tie it in with what I say about tourism, food is very important. And what the tourist promotion agency is doing, they have a sauce tour. They also have a hamburger tour where you go to different restaurants and you do it online now on your phone. And after you reach so many points, you get a prize. So it's been very successful, actually, what they're doing. And it gets people into these local restaurants because you have to visit. I think with the sauce tour, and I'm up to almost about 75% of them. There's probably about 12 or 14 restaurants, I think, on there. I haven't done the hamburger one yet. So, but I just say this, I think that's so important for our community. And I always encourage people to try to support the local restaurants. So that's really all I have.
Okay, thank you very much, Chris. Moving on to new business, we have, and we do this every year at this time, the reappointment of various council that fall under the jurisdiction of the courts. In fact, we have 4 proposed resolutions to that effect. And with us this morning, as noted, President Judge Cox and Court Administrator Amy DiMuccio. One or both of you are welcome to come up, however you prefer to do it. Good morning, Amy. Thank you for joining us. The first resolution, and I'm assuming this is resolution number 1.
Yes.
Okay. Good way to start the year. Amy, this proposed resolution would have the county enter into an agreement with Attorney Susan Papa to, I believe, continue to serve as the county's truancy contract counsel, and the compensation rate that's listed here for her would be $85 per hour. But I'll turn it over to you to see what other details you may wish to offer.
That's pretty much it. It is a renewal of Attorney Papa's contract at the rate of $85 an hour, which is the same hourly rate as the previous contract. So there's no change.
Thank you for that information. I'll see if Commissioner Sanada has any questions.
No.
No, sir. Mr. Kennedy? No. Thank you. Well, that being said, may I have a motion for resolution 1?
I'll make the motion to accept resolution 1.
I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. And if there are no other concerns or questions, we'll ask for a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you. Proposed resolution 2 would involve contracts with the following attorneys. These would be juvenile contracts, or juvenile counsel contracts. Attorneys Paula Chalella, Larry Punterary, Eugene Tempesta, and Elizabeth Grybick. I hope I said that name right. Grybick. Thank you. And my apologies to Attorney Grybick. My recollection on this proposal is that in previous years, there were 5 attorneys that were listed. And when we did have a meeting late last year with, at the time, President Judge Motto, who proposed lowering the number of attorneys from 5 to 4, and also then increasing the compensation level for those 4 individuals, which would place them at $40,000 for the calendar year, taking effect January 1, running through December 31. Is that your recollection as well?
Yes, it is. There were previously 5 contract attorneys, and at sometime in 2023, one of them resigned as she took a different role. And we kept 4, and we've run with 4. It's increased the caseload for each of the 4, and that's why we were asking for an increase in the compensation.
And Joe, you might know this, or Amy, you might know this. The prior amount was it 28,000?
Yes.
We were paying each
Yes.
of them? So this proposal moves them up to 40, but as you noted, it is an increased caseload since we have fewer lawyers doing the same amount or possibly more amount of
Yes.
work. I do want to make certain, again, this was brought to us by the prior president judge, Judge Motto, and I want to make certain that the current president judge, Judge Cox, is in accord with this proposal.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Amy, before I turn it over to my colleagues, do you have anything else to add on this proposed resolution?
No.
Thank you. Mr. Kennedy, any questions for Amy or the judge? Mr. Sanada? No. Thank you. May I have a motion then for proposed resolution 2?
I'll make a motion for resolution number 2.
I'll second that motion.
Thank you both, gentlemen. And if there are no other questions or concerns, we can take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. The next proposed resolution, proposed resolution number 3, each year the court requests that we consider adopting a resolution that allows for us to enter into a contract with a number of attorneys who will serve as criminal counsel. This resolution would allow us to enter into an agreement with each of the following 5 attorneys for an unlimited number of criminal cases, excluding murder cases, as assigned by the court. And these are the 5 attorneys that are listed here: Attorney Robert Barletta, Attorney John Bongivengo, Attorney Michael Bonner, Attorney Joseph Carney, and Attorney Kevin Lorella. Compensation for each of these attorneys will be $28,000 for the calendar year, which coincides with the language in this contract. And as noted, murder cases are not covered by this agreement. Amy, do you have more to add?
Well, just as far as explanation, these attorneys are only utilized if there's a conflict with the public defender's office and they can represent a defendant. We then have to assign counsel to them. And we just rotate between these 5 attorneys. And these are the same 5 that we've used in the previous year, and the compensation of $28,000 a year is the same as last year.
Thank you for that information. Judge Cox, I assume you're comfortable with what's being proposed?
Some of the attorneys are not. We'll have to talk about that in the future,
Okay.
everything. Mr. Finasco and I have spoken. When I have some time, we want to meet with Amy and talk about taking a look at court administration and everything, seeing. I know you said my prior president judge said he'd be frugal. I'll use the term cost conscious. But we want to take a look at things and see where we can save money and what we could do about different things, maybe modernize a few things. So we'll be talking in the future.
Certainly.
As far as this, these attorneys are important. Amy and I are looking at the statistics the other day. I think Attorney Bonner had 60 cases assigned to him.
In 2024, Attorney Bonner had 65
65 cases. So,
assigned.
Attorney Bonjavingo had a number, they do have a number of cases they get assigned to them out of the public defender's office.
No, I'm
Well worth having these contracts.
certainly. And I'm sure I speak for my colleagues in saying that we are always willing and able to meet with you folks. We've been proud of the fact that in years past, the boards of commissioners and the courts have enjoyed a good, open, working relationship. I certainly want that to continue, and I'm sure Dan and Chris do, and Judge, I'm sure you do as well.
I'm positive that it will continue. And we do have the courts and the commissioners here. I know Judge Martin has mentioned this before. We go to conferences and listen to other judges complain about their commissioners, just like you go to conferences and commissioners complain about their judges. And we just look around in amazement because we don't encounter that here. So I certainly appreciate the working relationship we have with the county commissioners.
Likewise,
Thank you.
our goal is for that to continue.
It will.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Sonata, any questions? Well, forgive me, anything else, Amy, on
No.
proposed resolution 3? Thank you. Mr. Sonata, questions?
Yeah, Amy, like, attorneys, are they rotated, each get a turn?
Yes.
How does that work?
We have a list, and when we start at the top.
Yeah.
And if the first person takes it, the next assignment that comes in, we go to the second person. And if they can't take it for whatever reason, we move to the next. And then the next one that comes in, we go back to that second person who didn't take it. We try to keep them as equal as we can.
That's what I was gonna say,
Yes.
because you were saying.
We do try to keep-
Bonner had all these cases, okay,
And sometimes a certain defendant may have multiple cases.
Yeah.
So we do try to keep it as even as we can among the 5 attorneys.
okay, so they all make the same amount of money, so we
Correct.
try to spread it out where
Correct.
one doesn't
Yes,
have to overdo it. Okay, that was my question.
yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Commissioner Kennedy?
No, I am.
Okay, thank you. I believe I do need to get a motion, do I not? May I have a motion for resolution 3?
I'll make that motion for resolution 3.
Thank you, Chris.
And I'll second.
Dan, thank you very much. Any other discussion? If not, we can take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes,
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. And then finally, from the courts, proposed resolution number 4 would have the county enter into an agreement with Attorney Deborah Shaw to serve as the custody master counsel. And I probably should note to continue to serve in that role. And the proposed level of compensation would be $85 per hour. Amy, anything you wish to add on this resolution?
No, just Attorney Shaw is continuing, it's a renewal of her contract at $85 an hour, which is the same rate as the previous year.
Thank you. And I'll see if, Judge Cox, anything over and above that?
No.
Thank you. Commissioner Kennedy, any questions?
I'm good.
Thank you. Mr. Sonata? Thank you all. Could I have a motion then for proposed resolution 4?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Thank you, gentlemen. We'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes,
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you so much. Amy, it's always a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
The next item involves domestic relations, and Judge and Amy, you're welcome to stay. You're welcome to stay for the entire meeting. You're welcome to stay for domestic relations, but if you have to head back upstairs, we understand.
Thank you.
Thank you both. Have a great day. Well, proposed resolution number 5. Good morning, Mary. Mary Kelly is the director of the Domestic Relations Office. You know, I don't mean to call attention to this, but I hope I don't embarrass you. But I noticed your fingers wrapped up, and it reminded me when I was in high school, I broke this finger. And a little short guy like me, we were playing basketball of all things, high school buddies, and one of the guys slammed the ball down on my finger, and I went to bed that night. It hurt, but got up the next morning, it was black and blue, and the school nurse looked at it, and I broke it. But I hope you're okay.
Yes, sir.
Was it basketball?
No, sir. I was filleting a steak.
Oh,
I accidentally.
so you cut it.
Yes.
You didn't break it.
No,
Oh,
but it's taken care of, and the chef I am not, but I have learned.
oh my. Did you
Every
have to-
Sunday I fillet a steak, and it was not as frozen as I thought it would.
Did you have to have stitches?
Yes, sir.
Oh, you poor thing. I'm so sorry. And I'm probably out of line in doing this,
I
but
survived it.
okay. And let's see, are you left-handed?
Yes, no, sir.
Okay, so that helps a little bit.
And the splint is so I don't bend it.
I see. Oh, I'm so sorry. We wish you a
Thank you.
quick recovery.
Thank you.
Be careful using knives.
I will. I don't think I want to even look at this.
There you go. You can take Chris's advice and go to some restaurants. Let them do all the
Yes.
cooking.
Yes, sir.
Well, Mary, again, I hope I didn't embarrass you by that.
No, you're fine. I feel foolish.
No, it happens to the best of us. You have in front of us, and I believe we do this every year, this is proposed resolution number 5. It's a renewal of a contract. I assume it's a renewal with Shred America, which provides shredding services to the Domestic Relations Office. You folks have a lot of paperwork, and a lot of the documentation you have is a lot of those, what's included in that documentation is confidential materials, which necessitates your having to have a good amount of shredding, I assume. But can you fill us in on this, please?
Certainly. I've had these shredded for many years, and I have noticed it's called shredded. They're recycled. That they are so inconsistent in their billing lately, and I'm just not pleased with their services. So I went ahead and contacted Shred America, and they're a veteran oriented company, and they gave me a great deal. So I would really like to give them the opportunity, and also they're out of Pittsburgh area, where Shred cycles out of the Chicago, Illinois area, and so I think we could save the county up to $1,000 utilizing this service. So I was wondering if, and hopefully be willing to make the change.
No, and I stand corrected. I just assumed it was a renewal, which it isn't. But from the sounds of things, you've gone about it appropriately. You've secured quotes. It obviously falls under the required bid threshold, which I think this year is at 23,800?
Yes.
Yeah, the bid threshold went up a little bit, but this would fall well below that, so we didn't have to do sealed bids, but it sounds as though you did get a couple of quotes. I'm gonna ask Mr. Sanada if he has questions.
No, I think it's good. I appreciate you looking at various options. Even though it's below the threshold, I think we still need to go out and always get multiple bids, as we say, because, and that's, the goal is to save money, and I think you've done that, but we appreciate that. I think anytime if you can save the county $1,000, we appreciate it.
Every penny counts.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Commissioner Kennedy,
Just thank you, Mary, for getting that done.
and by us approving this is actually a 2-year contract, if I'm reading this correctly.
Yes, sir.
No, actually, well, help me out here. It states in the resolution, it says it's a 24-month period, then it says starting January 2 of 2025, then it says until January 30th, 2027. Does that add up to 3, which would be 36 months, or am I missing something?
We're at 25 now.
Because January 2nd of 2027 would be 2, so they're a little over, a month over. So we're 137, or 25 months.
Did I?
No, wait a
type
minute,
that up?
25, yeah, 25 and 26 would be 24 months, and then going into January, so it's about 25 months.
Oh, okay, all right,
Yeah, you're off.
it's the old joke, the guy says there's three type of people who do math. People who are good at it, people who or not? You gotta think about it.
Yeah.
I'm not good at it. So, okay, so the way it's written is accurate then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's fine. My apologies. This is proposed resolution 5. Are there any other concerns or questions?
I would just ask that, with your signature, then I can proceed.
Oh, yes.
So when we get the resolution, copy of it back, may I have that?
You got it.
Thank
You just want me to email it to you?
you.
Yeah, we'll sign it. I mean, as
And I'll
soon
get
as.
that put in place right away.
Okay, that's fine. We're happy to do that. May I have a motion for proposed resolution 5?
I'll make the motion for resolution 5.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you both, gentlemen. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Yeah, it's finally sinking in. This is a 24-month. My apologies. Okay, well, Mary, it's always nice to see
Yes,
you.
sir. Thank you all for your time.
You bet. Hope you feel okay.
Thank you, Mary.
Get better.
Next on the agenda would be resolution 6. As has been noted, our good friend Artisha Foster concluded her career here at the courthouse a few days ago. And we've hired former Commissioner Brian Burek to take her place. Yesterday was his first day on the job. But in discussions that we've had with him, with Mrs. Foster, with our county administrator, Mr. Vanasco, we thought it might be advisable to ask Mrs. Foster if she would be willing for a period of time to assist the tax claim office for a number of months and she would serve as an independent contractor. This resolution would establish that and her rate would be set at $40 per hour, which I believe was comparable to what she was earning as the director. And we would cap this at an annual amount of $12,000. I think especially the first sale would come up in more than likely late April. And our thought was that it would be helpful to have Mrs. Foster come in, work with both Mr. Burek and the other 2 staff folks in getting all of the preparations for that sale. And I want to see if my colleagues are comfortable with this. So I'll start with Mr. Kennedy.
All good.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Sonata?
Yeah, I'm fine. I think it's good to transition with the old and the new. With her wealth of experience in 26 years, Jim. Pitch 26 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You're
She was
26
here when I
years.
got here.
Right, so I think it's a good idea to transition into the new office. And I know there's gonna be a lot of things happening over there. So we wanna make sure it's as smooth as it can be, and I think this is a good idea.
And would I be correct, thank you, Chris. Would I be correct, Joe, that there was also consultation with Attorney Medor? He works very closely with this office, and he was of the opinion, I believe.
Absolutely, there was. I mean, our current setup, as a county, we don't have the ability to pay 2 department heads for like a training session for 2 weeks or anything. So the only option that's out there is to do a contract such as this, to pass on some of that knowledge to the new person.
Thank you. Well, this is proposed resolution 6. Could I have a motion, please?
I'll make that motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Dan. We'll take a roll call, please.
Commissioner Sonato?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes?
Motion carries.
Thank you, Ryan. The final resolution is number 7. As we've noted at previous meetings, the commissioners established an opioid advisory board to oversee the revenue that we have received from the various court settlements with pharmaceutical companies. Those dollars have been allocated throughout the Commonwealth to, I believe, each county, including Lawrence. The gentleman sitting to my left, County Administrator Vanasco, currently chairs the opioid advisory board. That board meets in public. In fact, as we noted, they're going to be meeting at noon today. But they, I believe at a recent meeting, voted to recommend to the commissioners that $100,000 of the opioid funds, which are not tax dollars, let me make that real clear, but the recommendation to us is $100,000 be earmarked to the Lawrence County DUI Services Office. But Joe, do you happen to know, can you give us more details of
Sure.
what that money will be earmarked for?
Absolutely. One of the issues at the DUI center, and this is a cycle number 2 for the DUI center, second year in a row. One of the issues that we're having with the DUI center is, they're getting a lot more into the opioid. A majority of the people that are sent to this service now are due to drug offenders and so forth. This was previously approved by the opioid trust, which allows it to recycle into following years. You can keep it going as long as it's needed. But what they're finding down there is a lot of times when you have a straight DUI with alcohol in the past, the revenue was pretty good. As we've gotten the drugs, the revenue, the folks don't seem to pay it at the rate that the old alcohol offenses do. And we're at a point where 80 to 90% of their business is with drugs. There's very less alcohol.
And as you noted, this recommendation to us has also been
Yes.
looked upon favorably by the state trust.
Yes, and that's a very important piece. Once you're approved by the trust and your service description's approved by the trust, there's a period of automatic renewal. And, that's really beneficial to these providers that are receiving money.
Well, Joe, I'm sure I speak for Dan and Chris. We thank you for your leadership and serving as chair of this board. It's time consuming, but you're certainly the right guy to do it with your background and your knowledge. Commissioner Sanada, do you have questions for Joe?
No, I think, Joe, we appreciate your efforts. I think it's pretty straightforward. But you're saying a lot of this today is more drug related than alcohol.
Oh, yes. And it's an issue for the provider network because at the end of the day, it still comes down to dollars and cents for their survival.
What happens if they don't pay? So there's,
It's a service. There's, they can go through the court system. There's other different benefits of the program. If you run through the program and you complete all the tasks and you pay your money, it can expunge. I believe at the DUI center, they can expunge some of the charges and things of that nature. If you don't pay, you lose the ability to expunge the charges and what goes on. But at the end, it's just unfortunately, some of the issues that are coming to them, a lot of folks just plain and simply don't pay now that in the past years they did.
I understand. So this money will be helpful to keep the program going.
Absolutely.
I mean, without it.
Absolutely, and that's the full intention of those dollars, and the initial plan was put in was to ensure that the agency or our drug and alcohol program could survive.
And it doesn't cost the county any money.
It does not cost the county any money.
Before, did we have to pay for the services?
Yes, we used to pay not taxpayers' dollars, or at least I don't believe taxpayers. It was out of I believe the judge's supervision.
I think you're right.
So.
Well, I appreciate the information. I'm trying to still, even after a year, you still absorb some of the,
Absolutely.
how the funding streams work. So I appreciate that, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. Mr. Kennedy.
I have nothing. Thanks, Joe, I know I'm in your office a lot. You're on this opioid board, You spend a lot of time on it. Thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. This is proposed resolution 7. Would one of you care to make a motion for its approval?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Thank you both. If there are no other concerns, we'll ask for a roll call.
Commissioner Sanada?
Yes.
Commissioner Kennedy?
Yes.
Commissioner Vogler?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Couple of quick announcements. This Board of Commissioners, we will meet again 1 week from today, January 14, at 10 a.m. And as we noted a little bit ago, the Lawrence County Opioid Advisory Board will meet today at 12 noon in this room, and that's open to the public. And it's not on here, but looking ahead, just real quick, I should note that the courthouse will be closed on Monday, January 20, in observance of the Martin Luther King Jr. Day, being a federal holiday. Closing comments, no, forgive me, public comment before closing comments. Debbie, anything?
No, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Debbie. Closing comments from my fellow commissioners, Mr. Kennedy.
None.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Sonata. Thank you. Ryan, Joe, anything we've missed to your knowledge?
No.
Okay, thank you both for all the work you did putting this all together for us. There being no other business to be brought before the board, may I please have an adjournment motion?
I move we adjourn.
I'll second.
Thank you. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same sign. Motion carried. The meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Debbie, I've got your.
Joe, I have a question for you.
Okay.
This Lawrence County